RWBY Volume 8, Episode 12 felt strange. I can't really explain it, but it just feels weird. Okay, so for one thing, Team RWBY did everything right. Nothing bad happened at all in the episode. That on its own is super out of place this volume. One thing this volume did right, if not entertainingly, was give consequences to the actions of the protagonist's actions. I said actions twice, but fuck it. Even if the ramifications were just never brought up again. See Oscar being responsible for the murder of Hazel. But this episode, it's just a cavalcade of success, and while I get we need some of that, because the volume has been so boring and dull, I mean, a fails vaganza, it feels like sudden whiplash for the results to be this perfect. So let's go through piece by piece. First off, they successfully dupe Ironwood and then fodderize him. For the second time in a row, we've had the big headmaster of an academy turn out to be a total joke. You might say, but Nemesis, Ironwood was against all these people, surely he couldn't win. Might I direct you to Hazel and Tyrion, who were both able to school an entire team of huntsmen on their own. John, Nora, Ren, Winter, and Oscar, Emerald doesn't count because she was cuffed, aren't much of a step up from Ruby, Nora, Ren, John, and Crow, or Ren, Nora, Crow, Weiss, and Oscar. I expected Ironwood to go down like a bitch, but my god, did he go down like a bitch. Sure, you could say Ironwood got taken by surprise, but he's in the military. Aren't people in the military supposed to be able to deal with a surprise attack? He's a general in the military at that. Okay, sure, I'll accept that Ironwood is jobbed. He's not the main threat these last two volumes. They've been building him up. Of course, the main threat is Cinder, because of course it's fucking Cinder. God forbid we get a better antagonist for multiple volumes that isn't just Big Tit Salami Woman. That's, the main forefront antagonist. Oh, and of course they have Winter beat Ironwood in the most stupid anime possible way. It's just, was this supposed to be cool? It's hilariously stupid. The more I see anime things in RWBY, the funnier it gets every time. Then Marrow stops the Aesops immediately. Now, I'm not going to complain that he did this, because, yeah, that's what he should be doing. He freezes people in time, and he caught Harriet as she was running. Why doesn't he do this shit more often? Kind of amazing that when Marrow turns to the good side, he suddenly manages to use his semblance super well, huh? Remember when people said that Volume 7 was not a battle of good versus evil, it was a battle of two equally viable moralities? Well, you look like a bunch of plumb idiots now, don't you? Because no, it's very clear which is supposed to be the good side of morality. It's not a deconstruction of two differing sides of morality and the two choices that could be made that have logical goodness or moral goodness. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's just Ironwood bad. Follow your emotions. Fuck logic. Don't ever sacrifice people for the betterness of others. Very anti-utilitarian, I guess, Kill off 5 people for the betterment of the entire world versus don't do that. Everyone can suffer. Eat together. That sort of thing. This is not the ones who walk away from Omelis. It's not good in that regard. It doesn't actually have something to say. But all that is just window dressing for the episode. The good guys needed a few W's after the hard L's they've deep-throated. Okay, sure, fine. Ironwood went down like a total bitch, but let's just say they took him by surprise, and the animators just forgot to animate Ironwood being emotionally hurt and actually distracted by Winter's betrayal, which would have made it more believable, and with any luck, they'll just say next episode that he was distracted by Winter's betrayal because he legitimately trusted and cared for her as, like, a daughter or something, I don't know, or like a really close friend. And Marrow, well, he just grew a brain, so I can't really complain about him doing something that makes sense, can I? But then Team RWBY go into the vault, meet a new Margie Labyrinth of Magic Genie. This one is just Ugo with a head, but he's better than Jin by virtue of having something of a personality, so I'm not going to complain about him being consistent with the rest of the show and also having a character. That'd just be silly. What I will complain about is that his name is Ambrosius, but they don't, or at least I didn't catch it if they did, so maybe they did, but they don't properly name drop him. His name is just said offhanded by RWBY in the middle of a sentence, instead of having Oscar or Ozpin, when he's talking about him, be like, the Djinn in the lamp. His name is Ambrosius. I mean, not getting a proper name drop. Who do you think you are, Rhodes? I should also note they don't have to say his name like they do with Jin for some reason. Why don't they have to say his name like they do with Jin? And also, that would have been good to actually give us his name easily. I guess is the Staff of Knowledge the only one with like a password? And yes, Ambrosius is his name. It's probably a reference to the name given to Merlin in the Historia Regum Britanniae. Very creative, guys. And then they pull Penny's soul out of her body, essentially, and somehow, without any explanation, she just grows a new, completely physical body that doesn't count as something Ambrosius has created. Hold on. Okay, so, when Ambrosius makes something, it'll vanish when he makes the next thing. So, it makes you wonder how Atlas is floating, because they said that it has enough natural gravity just to keep it up so it doesn't fall immediately. But did he not make the city? Is there like a power source of infinite power he made that has vanished? Because that would... Maybe that was explained. I don't know. I thought Ironwood said it was the staff itself that produced the energy, so it's just like you take the staff out and Atlas falls, as opposed to you make something with it and Atlas falls. I don't know. I just feel like maybe a bit of miscommunication there. Nothing too big, honestly. Okay, so they make him make a new robot Penny with her old parts. So he takes her parts, he pulls them apart and puts them back together exactly as they were, but only with the robot parts. So her soul is left behind. So where does the physical fleshy matter come from? Seriously. So they say Penny's new body was just her coming to the surface. This means that if you pull a soul out of someone's body in RWBY, they will grow a new body. And you can't counter-argue that. If you're like, no, Ambrosius made her body, why is it still there when her old body got Thanos snapped? If you're like, well, that was what was already there, just surfacing. How did she grow it on her own? Did she have an organic body inside of her the entire time? Is she like fucking Funtime Fredbear with the little fetus in his schematics and shit? Is that it? That doesn't make sense. Why would Pietro put, did Pietro just put a bunch of flesh in there? And so when Penny was remade, all that flesh fell to the ground and just put itself back together around her soul. What? No. What happened was, her soul, instead of just floating around like some Na'vi Legend of Zelda spirit, has just built itself a new body completely out of nothing. Souls can violate the laws of reality and create matter. Okay, and I'm not going to say that it is completely unreasonable for that to be how souls, a thing of which we have no real scientific evidence for, can do that in a fictional story in a room that exists outside of our regular reality. What I don't like is that they don't explain it. I would like at least some bullshit explanation, like a soul cannot exist without a body, so reality has just decided to give her one because it's being contradicted. This is just the whims of causality. No, it just... And also, here's another thing. Her soul is half of Pietro's. She has the soul of an old man. Now this of course brings up the philosophical discussion. What is the difference between a soul and the mind? You know, like mind, body, soul dichotomy. You know, what is really you? Your abstract soul, your mind, your knowledge, your memories and all that, or your physical body. Now, in RWBY it seems that there is no difference, or that the soul isn't actually that important, it's the mind that's important. For instance, she does not have the soul or the body of a male, but she could get the maiden's power because her mind registers her, it identifies itself as a female gender. So that's how it could get the maiden power, which does mean in the future we could potentially see a transgender maiden. That would be maybe interesting. You could have a male maiden, or not a male maiden, but like a female in a male's body, because, you know, they're transgender and have maiden power. Like May Marigold could get the maiden powers because she identifies as female, right? Okay, so that's how that works. Sure. But it also means that when your soul's pulled out of your body, your mind goes with it and your mind takes precedent. So it's just, you know, it's weird. From a philosophical point of view, it's weird to me. But, you know, I don't think they thought that far ahead, honestly. I don't think they brought in the ideas of philosophy into their writing. That would take care. Anyway, it would have been really funny if like Penny just grew Pietro's body out of her soul. It would add some consequences, but it would also be really funny. But, you know, people wouldn't be horny over an old man like they would Penny. Also, someone, I feel like Weiss should have told Ambrosius to make Penny some pants. I mean, no, she shouldn't have, because those pants would have vanished when he made the next thing. But, you know, someone get Penny some fucking pants, please. Then Ambrosius makes a big interconnected set of doorways, and hold on, he said he wanted a detailed explanation of how to fuck with space and shit. Would he not need to have blueprints on how to create a door that folds space, bends space, to allow you to go to another entire dimension of reality, and then transport you to another one when you go back out? Does he not need something like that? Like, okay, there are doors in RWBY, literally right in the scene, that transport you to this dimension of reality, But even if he based the initial doorway on that, how in the holy hell have they given him schematics that will allow him to make it so when you go back out the door, you'll leave again? Remember, they said very specifically, you need the detailed blueprints. You need to explain how it can happen. How? Anyone, explain to me. How can you walk into a door and then walk back out the other? No, it's magic. They don't know anything about this. Now, if Ozpin was there, I could maybe buy it. Maybe Ozpin talks to Ambrosius in, I don't know, some weird, wacky language that the others don't understand, so we don't need to hear him bullshit science. And he's like, that's how you do it. And, okay, that'd be cool, but... No. And then there is a cliffhanger, and Cinder's there, because of course it's Cinder. I just can't wait to see more goddamn motherfucking Cinder fucking goddamn fucking shit-sucking ass-licking cunt smothering fall, can you? I can't contain my excitement! And that was the episode. It allowed this bit of animation to get in. They literally just used Gmod for this show, I swear to God. What even? This episode is so out of place in a volume about consequences. Oh sure, Cinder's gonna get through the portals and do some shit, but unless she does something actually evil, like destroy the central hub, so everyone walking in just falls to their deaths, then I don't really care. Also, he told her not to fall. What if you just grabbed Salem and yeeted her into the void? Boy howdy, look at that, the Staff of Creation can be used to deal with Salem. What a surprise! Also, yeah, I noticed Penny became a real girl. Haha, real fucking creative, Rooster Teeth. We all saw this coming the moment we knew the staff in Atlas was the Staff of Creation. Did anyone really not expect them to use the Staff of Creation to make Penny a real girl?